So today we're going to work with something called CodeKit, and I'll probably do a couple of videos on this, maybe 2 or 3 depending on how much is needed. Shut down my Steam. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to utilize some of the power of CodeKit to kind of get us up and running on a quick project. I'm just going to want to do like a simple Bootstrap project and kind of toy with Jade and Sass and point out some of the time-saving features of both of those. And CodeKit does a really great job of pretty much automatically picking up what you're trying to do. It's very intuitive in that way. So really, it's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go ahead and look up our projects folder, our tutorials folder. We'll call this CodeKit. We'll drag it onto the project. Now we're here. Alright, and so what we're going to do is look at the assets. And now here you'll have some favorites listed. And these are kind of some of the more popular ones. And so we're going to look for Bootstrap and of course jQuery, because the bootstrap.js needs jQuery to run. Alright, and so we'll go ahead and click up here. Click that. That should start the download process. Okay. Should be anyway. Alright, looks like it's not working. Let me actually quit CodeKit. Start it back up again. There we go. And so now it's installing Bootstrap. Oh, and it picked up on the jQuery I had already asked for. Alright, so that's... Now we're looking at both of those installed. Excellent. So we can go back to our browser. Now we're going to include everything using this Power Components folder because CodeKit's going to allow us to update those later on with a single click, as long as we keep them in the standard place and we use the standard file naming. Alright. So inside this, though, we can create our own section. So we would have normally we'd have an assets folder. Inside the assets folder, we'd have a CSS folder and JavaScript folder and an image folder. All right. And so if we open up assets, we see all that. Now inside CSS, we're also going to see global.css. We're also going to see global.sass, and we'll close the CSS because we're not going to need to look at that folder or that file, and if we need to, we can just click on it to highlight it. But inside global Sass, if we look at CodeKit again and go to our Sass folder, you can see that the output file is automatically going to be picked up to global.css. Alright, so we'll also create a source map and we'll leave it the style on nesting. Alright, so we can close that for now, and then inside the CodeKit folder, we can have Jade file. This is going to be index.jade, and we're also going to need index.html. And if we look at index.jade in CodeKit, we'll see it automatically is going to output to index.html, including debug option. Debug information is definitely the way to go, because you're going to see anything that's happening. You're going to see the errors. Okay, so let's go ahead and basically kind of get something up and running. I don't really have any ideas for this. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip on this, so we'll do kind of what you would normally do if you're looking at a simple layout. In Jade, we're going to look at first, obviously, the head information. So we're going to do doc type HTML, head, title, call this CodeKit tutorial, link. So this is going to be assets, CSS, logo.css. Okay, and we're also going to link in our Bootstrap CSS. So we're going to need bower restore components, Bootstrap, dist, CSS, Bootstrap, .css. In the head, we're also going to have our script. And that is going to be our components, jQuery, dist, jQuery.js. Right, so what doesn't it like? Doesn't like head. Doesn't like the head location for some reason. Let's change this to the actual doc type. Oh, I know why. Huh. That's kind of silly. So doc type HTML and HTML. We forgot the simplest part of it. There we go. So now if we look at it, we've got our full. It's already compiling correctly. All right. So we're bringing in jQuery. We also need to bring in bootstrap.js if we want to use that. So, oops. Our components, bootstrap, list, JS, bootstrap.js. Save that. Let's go ahead and refresh the page. And we're missing, oh, we've got asset, not assets. Typos will kill you. And no errors, so that means it picked up all of our LinkedIn files, and we can continue. Alright, so now that's it for the head, as far as we can tell. We can go to the body, and then what I normally do as far as a simple basic layout is we'll have like a header section, a nav section, provided we're going to do a horizontal nav, content section, and then footer section. So we'll just go ahead and create some classes here. Page wrapper ID for the outside. Inside there, we're going to do a header wrapper, nav wrapper, content wrapper, and footer wrapper. All inside that same page wrapper, and we'll go ahead and look at our HTML, and that's of course exactly what we expect to see. And so now we'll kind of leave the Jade alone for a little bit. We'll go over to the Sass part of it, and we'll pick it up from there. Alright, and so what we're going to do is bring in our Google Open Sans, And for whatever reason, Sass is being picked up as Hamel. That's not the case. Change it to Sass. There we go. And so now let's go ahead and think about some of the things that we'd like to do. And normally, you can kind of use Sass to make your life easier, really, right off the start. So one, we're going to import a new font, and then we're also going to define variables for colors. All right, so real simple. Black is going to be $000. White, we're going to use an off-color white, so it's not. So you can see we're not just going to use standard colors. Yellow. Let's bring up the color picker. Do kind of a mustard yellow pick. And we'll do green. Got a color picker back here in the green somewhere. Dark forest green. Do a blue. What else do we need? A red. And of course, you can always, you can get as crazy as you want. You could do light and dark colors of each one of these. Personally, I like darker colors of most of them. There. Right. And so we'll set some body rules. We'll use a family of what we'll call font stack. We'll go ahead and add that font stack as a declared variable. Font stack, and we're going to use open sans, and then sans serif as the backup. Okay, see if we have any errors. Nope, that's good. So we're bringing out some more features here. We're going to do padding at 0. We're going to just reset the body. Mark at 0. All right. And what we could do, background color, we can set this to our white, because it's actually an off-white. Alright. There we go. And why don't we call this off-white? And what we'll do is we'll do white is our pound FFF. Alright. And so what we'll do is now we'll go to our page wrapper and we'll do that as off-white. Background color, off-white. Width 980 pixels, height 1000 pixels. So mark 0 auto, so it's in the center. All right. So flip back over. There we go. So we get rid of our spec element for the moment. So we got 980 wide by 1000 tall, and obviously you're going to want auto settings and percentages rather than just hardcore pixels. But we're just kind of throwing this out together so you can kind of see how Sass and how Jade works. All right. And then so now we've got a couple of things. We've got our content wrapper, app wrapper, footer wrapper, call this primary components. Right. And so we'll do this with 100% because we want it to obviously spread across the whole thing, like 200 pixels, just so we can see it. Background color. There we go. Okay, so we got a warning. So let's see what we got. Let's find out what our warning was. Oh, so there's no properties on each of them, so they're not rendering them in CSS, which is fine. We don't mind. We can throw some basic properties on them. Just do width of 100% on all of them. There we go. Okay, so now we've got properties on all of them, so we won't have ones. All right, and if we flip back over, nothing's really changed. Okay, so we'll just make it basic so we can kind of see where we are with things. All right, our pigs, color, yellow. So we got 250 out of 1,000. So we'll do 700 pixels. Color. Really bright. All of our colors here. Alright. Space there. Spaces can kill you when you're setting tabs for Sass. Alright, so 100 pixels. Oops. Stop auto completing. And whatever, we have a blue. There we go. So basically we're looking at 250, 500, 200. So we've got some, I think we're full up, aren't we? Let's add them up. 200, 250, that's 950. All right, so we're actually bigger. All right, so this can be only 50 pixels. Actually, we'll leave that at 100. Just change this to 650. All right, there we go. So now we got our 1,000 pixels tall and we've got separate sections. So you can see it's pretty easy. You know, basically, when we look at this, we would obviously, going out, you know, this would become white. These would all go away, the background colors. And then you would work within your divs to kind of lay out. This is a really basic, simple layout, but you can see it went pretty quick. I don't know how long we've been recording, but you know, just a little bit of work, and we're sitting on precompiled code. You know, what have we got here? You know, 44 lines. In Jade we got 15 lines, and if we look at the HTML, we're at 17. In our CSS 35. So we're, you know, we're actually typing a little bit more with Sass, but we're giving ourselves more flexibility because we're assigning it, you know, a font stack throughout the whole page. We're assigning variables for different colors that we can use. So as your CSS, your Sass gets longer, your CSS will get shorter, and you'll actually be writing less code than you would normally. Same thing with Jade. You're writing less code and you're getting more results. You're not having to worry about opening and closing tags, and you're not worrying about syntax as much, so you have a much easier time of actually laying things out. So I'll go ahead and stop this video here, and then we'll pick up at the next video. We'll go ahead and look at some other features of the CodeKit and some more features for Jade and also Sass. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you liked the video, go ahead and leave me a comment below and hit that like button. Thanks again.